Hello, you're watching News.Markets. From AB InBev and SAB Miller, the biggest British corporate merger, to the headline-grabbing IPO of luxury car maker Ferrari, you can bet an awful lot of rather sophisticated negotiation goes on behind the scenes to get deals done. With more UK companies looking to China, the US and European countries for mergers and acquisitions, how does negotiating change from market to market and sector to sector? Or does it? Steve Gates is the founder and CEO of the GAP Partnership, the world's leading negotiation consultancy, and the author of the negotiation book. Well, thanks ever so much for coming in.
You're welcome, thank you.
You consult with about 500 different companies across sectors, across markets, and these kind of conversations are going on all the time, right?
Absolutely, and what we're finding increasingly is the rate of change, the rate of risk driven by technology and disruptive industries is meaning more and more negotiations are taking place midway through contracts. So the sheer volume of negotiations and renegotiations across all industries is being accelerated by the changes in technology and opportunities that's bringing to the market.
So how does being a good negotiator impact on businesses? Why is it a key ingredient of being a successful business today?
Well, the way negotiations negotiation is about capitalism. It is how business gets done. It is a process where parties seek to optimize value, minimize risk, look at different ways of partnering with their suppliers or with their customers. So the skill engaged in optimizing those opportunities reflects directly on the value of those businesses.
Now, if we think of some recent examples, I mentioned the big brewing conglomerate now. SAB Miller, they've had to delist from the London Stock Exchange. Thousands of jobs will go. They're going to be closing their luxury Mayfair headquarters. A lot of negotiating would have had to go on there. What other things would have been discussed?
The dynamics. Well, there'll be many dynamics because there are many stakeholders in play. And when you bring a deal like this together, it's for the chairman, the role is to get their ducks in a row, to get the various stakeholders to the table to agree. And if you look at SAB Miller's chairman, Jan du Plessis, the role that he played, even when going public at 42.15 per share, in squeezing more and more value out of that deal by making announcements to the market around the plans to double the savings to $1 billion per year, just the launch, the use of the media to put more and more pressure on AB InBev. The launch of the new initiative to make greater savings across the business, to take it from $500 million to $1 billion, coupled with an upmarket trading statement to again squeeze yet another pound per share as it nudged up to, £44 per share. This equated to billions. In fact, the value of SAB Miller between early September and by the time the deal was done had doubled, literally doubled in value as a result of the tactics that were being employed. But the real challenge that Plessis had was keeping all of the other shareholders within SAB Miller in line, because some of them were ready to grab at 42.15 and take the money. But of course to nudge that up and to hold tough, to employ some nerve and to manage the stakeholders seriously paid off for them.
We're talking in quite general terms, that
Yeah.
the theory of negotiating, that there's no one-size-fits-all way to negotiate. Can you give me some examples of who's got it right and who could have done with a bit of your help?
Yes, there are many. Of course, here we are in November. The retailers are kicking off their Christmas sales. They have done many negotiations with their suppliers. Some will have taken some very wise decisions. Some would have been rather more optimistic, which will place them in an interesting position back in January, February of next year. That's when the renegotiations will start to take place.
So it's one of those things where you have to take a long-term view and also a bit of a retrospective view as well.
Absolutely. It's a balanced view around the risk.
Steve Gates, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you.